controlled chaos here. Stars Reach is in pre-alpha and they've added in the ability to start building bases. I want to talk about that. I really enjoyed this because it's got so many levels to it. So in order to unlock civil engineering, you have to do mining and you have to gain a certain amount of experience in mining. And this I see as a good thing. And the reason I see that this is a good thing is you need a lot of metals and stones and stuff like that to make base building parts. So that's a smart move on the developers. They were forward thinking on this, and that's nice. Once you unlock it, you have to then build a couple of tools. And these tools allow you to do different things. First off, there's the tool that allows you to take materials such as granite or wood and stuff like that and make blocks and build out stuff that way. So it's almost like Minecraft building. And that's really nice and interesting way of doing things to start off with building. Another tool that you can unlock in civil engineering allows you to actually make actual base parts. Sort of like you see in a lot of survival games. You see it in Conan Exiles, No Man's Sky, and stuff like that, where you get flooring or foundation and walls and roofs and stuff like that. And I was surprised when building how well this all worked. So I want to go back to the one where we're building like Minecraft. You can place block by block by block, but that really gets tedious. The developers thought about this, and when you're placing down like the flooring, you can choose the flooring option and then draw out sections where you want the flooring and it'll place all those blocks. Now, if you don't have enough in your inventory of the required resources, it won't place it down at all. So you'll have to maybe decrease the size or go and get resources or make more blocks, because you have to use the lathe to build these base parts, whether it be the blocks or the actual base parts themselves, which is another nice thing. So it's got tiers to this whole entire thing. You got harvest, then you gotta use the lathe to make the parts, then you have to lay down the parts. And that's really nice. And then as I was talking about with the flooring, you can do the same thing with the walls. You can choose how far out they go and how far up they go. And that's really cool because it allows you to choose where you want to put in the walls. So you bring it out a little bit and then bring it up to the height and play around with it and stuff like that. So you can make windows and doorways and stuff like that. Does it give you heavy creativity? It gives you some, but it's got the blocky look that you would expect from Minecraft. The other building option, which is the pre-made parts like the walls, the doors, or the walls with windows, the foundations, the flooring and stuff like that, including ramps, is really cool because right now we have two different door types. Then we have an arch type, and we have a regular wall with a couple of different windows, a corner wall, a smaller corner wall, and then a corner wall with windows and things like that. And we were getting together in an actual group and building things out. But before I get to that, I want to show you this real cool base that someone built as a tree house. And it sort of defies gravity with how this is built. And when talking about that, one of the playtesters asks, will the buildings have weight to them? Will they fall apart if not structurally sound? And the response from the developers is, in a way, yes, because building parts will have mass. So you will have to make sure that they're, fundamentally connected to hold up what's there. And I think that's really cool. It brings a bit more realism to the building. It takes a lot more thought into what you're designing if you're not building just a regular square building that's on the ground. If you're trying to build up in this tree, you really have to think things out. Now, in the pre-alpha, this is not enabled, so it's just going to sort of float there. But that's going to be coming down later on the lines for us to test. Now, going back to that group building, it was fun. There was a bunch of us that started off early in the tests for this and started digging out the inside of this mountain and wanted to build inside the mountain and have it crop outside the mountain and have sort of a connect to a bridge and just really cool ideas. And as we were going along and doing this, they were having problems with flattening the grounds and the walls and the ceilings inside the mountain that they were digging out. And Raph says, oh, you can use the harvesting tool to actually flatten things out, and explained it. And so they started doing that. And then Raph came by to check out the progress and noticed that, it's being a bit slow. He jumped in and started helping with flattening out the floors and the walls and the ceilings. And it was really cool that he was interacting with us because he wanted to see what this build was going to look like. I mean, we weren't going small. We were going big, as you can see on the screen. And it's really nice and fun. But the cool things about these building aspects when building with these parts is that you can rotate them around, you can move them around and things like that, and it works out really nicely because it also has a snap feature. And sometimes the snap feature gets stuck, but once again, we're in pre-alpha here. They're probably going to work on that mechanic to be a lot better, but as I see it now, it's decently good. It matches on par with what we have for a lot of base building in Conan Exiles and in No Man's Sky. It matches with those, but there's some bonuses to it. You'll see on the screen that there's this little gizmo. That's the thing with the 3 arrows or the 3 circles sort of going through each other for rotation. And that's the actual term to it, gizmo in 3D modeling. And it's nice because you can just grab one of those points or one of those circles and rotate or move in that direction, making it a lot easier to use and manipulate so you can really get lavished with these types of builds. And I try to do a lot of building in No Man's Sky, but their rotations and movement stuff is like really harsh because you don't have the gizmo really there to help you out that much. You're just sort of guessing in your rotations and stuff like that. Whereas with the gizmo, you have more feel for what you're doing. And it just feels natural to me. But I'm also a 3D modeler. I make 3D models. And so I'm used to that kind of environment. But I think it will also help the new players out with having that there. It lets them know, oh, I can grab these things and play with them and get that one direction I'm wanting to go. And then move it in another direction and stuff like that. And then there's also scaling and stuff like that. And the great thing is as we're building this out, there are people that were using forestry and planting a couple of trees in the area. And that was fun. And this thing just kept on going and going and going. And the great thing is we're not done with this. We still have at least another test or two without the characters being wiped to where we get to build this out more. And the developers are really excited about it. And the reason I know the developers are really excited about it is because we're in voice chat with them. So the developers aren't just sitting in the background watching what we're doing. They're there interacting with us, answering questions, helping us solve and look at bugs. They'll literally come running when we mention a bug that they haven't heard about. Or if someone's building something interesting, the developers will stop what they're doing and come running to take a look at. They went and looked at the treehouse and they thought it was amazing. They're loving the creativity that us alpha testers are already putting in there. And That's the whole entire point of this test, where they've been keeping the world up, is they wanted us to do a lot of building and world destruction to sort of see how the game handles everything. And so far, it's handling it pretty well. Yes, there are some lag issues, and we bring that up to them at certain points when we have issues and stuff like that. But that's going to get fixed over time, because remember, as I've stated, and I'll state again, this is pre-alpha. It is nowhere near finished. It's still got a good long road to go. So what you're seeing on screen, you can't judge the game fully on that. Judge it based off of what they're trying to do, the direction they're going, how it's moving forward. And that's another reason I do these videos, is to show you how the game is progressing. So that way you're not left in the dark and just having to go by the developer's word or a company's word or whatever. You get to see it for yourself as things progress. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe, and have a great day.